Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Employee to Boss podcast. I am your host, Haley Hayhurst, and today I have a really great episode with Jana Hungate, the owner of BALM Wellness. I met her at a networking event, a virtual networking event actually, and I was just so blown away by what she's doing and her backstory. She's from the Czech Republic, and I studied abroad there in college. So I am so thrilled to be having this conversation with her today. A little bit about Jana. She is a holistic wellness expert and an intuitive body worker with a passion for helping people feel better naturally. She combines a European approach to wellness with modern techniques such as stress management, NLP, young living aromatherapy, breath, yoga, and spa treatments, all to create a holistic experience for her clients. I wish I was in California to go see her in person because what she does is just so amazing. This episode is definitely best if you can watch it on YouTube to see the video because she shows some of the cool products that she uses and the cool tools that she uses, as well as she walks us through a breathwork exercise in this episode. So even if you're driving, this breathwork will calm you down. Obviously keep your eyes open, but this is just a really nice, relaxing episode. And if you are looking to start a business in the wellness industry, I think that this is also such a good interview for you to listen to, or really any competitive industry, because as we all know, the wellness industry is very competitive. But Jana has really carved out her space to really claim her area of what she does. And just really, I cannot talk about her enough. Like, her expertise, her background is just amazing. So this is a really nice, relaxing episode, but also a really great foundational episode for anyone looking to start a business or grow in their business. This is why I love podcasting, because I get to connect with so many cool people, just like Jana, who are doing such amazing things with their businesses. And like I said, Jana is in California. I am in Seattle, Washington. So not necessarily close to each other. So we probably would not have connected whether it had been this networking event. And this networking event, I was putting on a presentation of how to start a podcast. And so she attended it, and that's really, we reached out after the fact. So at this networking event, we did connect, but we weren't able to talk really. And so what I love about podcasting is we can take that first connection and then dive in deeper and really get to know each other. And just like I said, she's from Czech Republic. I studied there, so we have that in common. And I would not have known that unless she was a guest on my podcast. So this is just my sign to you that if you're thinking about starting a podcast, now is the time, because in my opinion, it is the best networking tool for business. Not even necessarily to get clients, although podcasting is great for that. And I have a really cool episode coming out next week about how you can strategically use your podcast. And it's not a solo episode this time, so you can hear someone else reinforce my ideas. But podcasting is just so great. So now is the time for you to start if you've been thinking about it. The way I help my clients is we can start your podcast in 4 weeks. So imagine a month from today, we're like mid-October, you can have a podcast ready, up and running, and you can already have like 2 episodes out. And so just visualize that. And if that's exciting to you, come connect with me on Instagram, Espresso Podcast Production. Message me the word launch, just like launch a podcast. And I will send you over all the details. We will have a conversation about what your podcast is going to be about and action steps on how to make it happen. So let's get you a podcast before the end of the year. And even if you're listening to this later on in the year or at a different time, you can still message me that word launch, and we could talk about starting your podcast in 4 weeks from whatever date you're listening. So very, very exciting. All right, let's get into this amazing episode with Jana Hungate, the founder of BALM Wellness. Hi, Jana. Thank you so much for joining me on the Employee to Boss podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get to know you more. I met you through a networking organization, which I always love meeting new people. So I'm really excited that we get to continue our conversation and get to know more about each other. So if you want to start off by telling us about who you are and kind of your journey from employee to boss, I would love to learn.
Yeah. So my name is Jana Hungate, and I'm founder of BALM Wellness. It's a company who is supporting health and wellness, and it can be one-on-one or it can be supporting corporate wellness for the employees' health. How I started, it was a long journey because originally I used to live in Czech Republic during the communism, right? So I grew up in communism country, and it was quite different back then than now, and pretty much everything was aligned for us. You go to school and then you get one job and you stick with that job forever, right? So my journey was a little bit different. I started that way, and I was employed as an elementary school teacher where I was teaching, and I was thinking, like my mom and everybody else, you get this job and you stay there until you retire. Well, little did I know that that's going to be beginning of my new journey, the health and wellness journey, when I became quite sick when I started to teach. And that was my first year of teaching. I was teaching first grade, and I was getting sick. So the immunity system was kind of attacked. And what I was told, don't worry, you're a first time teacher, you are teaching first year. So you will build your immunity during the year. It's going to be okay. Well, it didn't happen to me. It was getting actually worse. And then I realized that it's not only me and my immunity, it's different aspects in the area because the school was flooded before. So the school was flooded in the lower section where I was teaching and where my classroom was. And all of the toxins were into the walls. They repaired the school, everything looked pretty and new, but the toxins were in the school walls, and I was getting affected by that. So at that time, when I experienced changing lots of doctors and recommendations and lots of antibiotics which didn't work, I have realized that I have to do something different. And that was the pivoting point where I started to search for natural therapists and healers and someone who can help me in different way, like old grandma's recipes. And I found people, and that was the beginning of the journey where I could see the results. It was a little bit slower, but it took me to my health again.
Yeah. Was that common in Czech Republic?
No, it wasn't common. It was education wasn't necessarily there about the alternative, experiences.
Mhm.
Pretty much whatever doctor said, it was done because doctor knows the best and don't even question that, don't get second opinion. It was just not happening at that time. But with my own health and experience, I knew that this is not the way for me, because if they suggest surgery, they don't even know for what, because antibiotics didn't work. And at that time, the hospital in my country, at that town, wasn't necessarily good. So I'm like, no, I'm not going there. So at that time, I'm like, okay, we have to find something else. What is going to work?
Totally. I studied abroad in Czech Republic in Prague, and I it was very different than probably when you grew up, right? The communism, the way that the country has changed. And so I could imagine I went to the doctors one time there and I was like, this is so different than here in America that I was so used to. So
Yes.
how old were you when you moved to the States?
I was what I was. I was 24. 24
Okay.
when I moved here. From Czech, I moved to England. I stayed there for a year, and from there, I moved to here. So just moving to different countries and experiencing and learning new lifestyle and how to take care of yourself in different country with different resources. It was just learning experience, and same thing here, right? Because when I moved here, if you have issues, you go to doctor, because I didn't have any other resources. But through the time I have been living here and working here, I found my other naturopathic ways about how to navigate and what works for me and how can I translate that for my clients. Because my mission is to teach people, if you have something going on, try to, use naturopathic stuff, essential oils, or different healing modalities before you just grab the pill. Sometimes we need a pill, but what I always say, like, if you don't have to use the pill, which has, secondary effects, try all of this first.
Absolutely. That's awesome that you're showing your clients kind of like step by step what they can do rather than just try a whole bunch of different things. So you moved here when you were 24. When did you start your business?
My business, I have actually started 6.5 years ago.
Awesome.
I had the opportunity to fully dive into the health and wellness. That's when I opened my company and started with aromatherapy and body work. And over the time during the COVID, I had to pivot a little bit. So that's when I started to do more of online education and providing education for corporate wellness or one-on-one self-care wellness sessions. And it works because if I have clients, either international clients or clients who live in different states in US, we just connect via Zoom and then I can guide them what to do and, how they can proceed to better their life and lifestyle.
Awesome. That's really cool. And so obviously you healed yourself and learned from so many different people and kind of like life experiences. And so this podcast, a lot of newer entrepreneurs listen to it. And so I would love to hear kind of how you built your credibility in this space because the wellness industry can be very competitive. But, when, like you're saying, you know what you're talking about and you kind of open yourself up to new opportunities going into corporate or online. So I'd love to learn more about just how you built your credibility in this area.
I have started from the bottom. Pretty much when you start your own business, you have to promote yourself. So promoting on social media, going to network meetings, creating the friendships and connections. And the best promotion is satisfied client, right? So when you have client, you have helped the client or you keep continuing helping them on their journey and they incorporate their family into the wellness journey. That is the best, achievement for me. And that's slowly how I created my clientele and awareness. I have speaking events, I have retreats. So when you have more people who are, listening to the message you are sharing, they become more aware because some people, they don't even know that this is option or it's possible because they have never been exposed or they didn't think about it. And my mission is just the awareness is here and the resources are here. And I'm here for you to connect you with your own body. And like my cup is saying, everybody has its story. So each of us have something, going on in the health and wellness area, and each of us wants to get better. So I'm navigating how you can get better with your own resources.
That's awesome. I really like that saying. And one of the things that came up to me was when people are starting their business, there's a lot of, imposter syndrome that they can feel, or even just if you're more on the introverted side, it can be hard to get out there and do public speaking. But just like you help people every day heal themselves. And so do you have any advice for getting out there and kind of like knowing that what you're doing has value and showing that off?
I think just making time for yourself and starting, there's advice, you need to just jump into it. You need to get ready, get prepared, take your tools, take your wisdom, share your story, because that makes a huge difference. I'm sharing my health story, and that's what people like, because they can see that it's possible, right? Because I have been somewhere else, health-wise, now I'm much better. And these were the tools I use, this is the practices I have done, and you can try that too. It doesn't mean it will work for you like immediately, but you have to work on that step by step. Just the starting point is the key.
Yeah, and that's awesome that you have been able to, you were basically your first client,
yes,
right?
I am.
So you can show off, I did this for myself. This is the results that I've seen and kind of share your story from there. And so that's great. And I think that a lot of people do need to share more of their own story because every business owner, we were probably all our first clients.
I agree.
And so I'd love to learn more about, your actual healing tips. So a lot of the people who listen to this podcast are women, but there are some men who listen. And so if you could talk about releasing stress, tension, pain, all the things that we may feel.
All day.
Awesome. Do you want to share some of your favorites?
Yes, I will share that. And what I want to say that for me, when I'm sharing something with my clients, it's very simple and easy. It must be simple and easy to use anytime, because if it's difficult, I don't want to do it. And I'm sure nobody else wants to do it. So what I'm teaching my clients or at the corporate wellness education events, they are very simple tips and tricks. And I also will show you tools, what I'm using, and then you can use them at home. I have this small bag, and that small bag is full with tools. So this is dry brush. So simple thing, if you want to work on your lymphatic system, then you are dry brushing your body, the whole body towards the heart. That's the tool number one. The other tool is jade roller, and you are rolling your face. And that helps you, that helped me actually, that's another story. When I had a surgery with my tooth, my face got very swollen. So you need to take care of the inflammation and cool it down. So I put this jade roller in the fridge when it was really cold. I was just rolling it. It was helping me to take care of the inflammation along essential oils. I was using lavender and peppermint. Then this is everybody's favorite, a reflexology ring. And you just roll the ring on your fingers, right? What it does, first of all, it massages your hands, but it supports your circulation in the hands. For people with arthritis, they have better release. It doesn't go away, but they get some release of it. And I'm using this tool every time I'm flying. So if I'm flying somewhere for business trip or internationally, when the plane lifts, your body kind of gets puffed up, right? So you need to work on that too. I just love it. And then I have 4 different wooden balls, and those are massage balls, and you can use them on massaging the body. You either can roll it or press it into the points, because all of us are sitting or doing some repetitive motion or movement, and our body gets used to that, so our muscles get tight. Our goal is to get loosen up, open up the chest, because all of us in the computer go like this, or when we use the phone, everybody has the office neck going and looking down. So we want to have balanced body and flexible spine. With all of these, you can roll it on the feet, because you have reflex point on the feet. And I just want to show you, you were asking me for tips. This is going to be very interactive. No one is going to get bored. This is a reflexology chart. And as you can see, all of our body and body organs reflects in our feet. And in my sessions, if you have bodywork sessions, I do lots of reflexology. So lately, the clients were talking about headaches. And as you can see, the head represents the big toe on the feet. So what you can do, you can grab your big toe and just turn around left and right, or pull out. And that way you are releasing your tension in the head and neck. With that, you can also grab essential oil like peppermint, which is really supportive for headaches or getting uplifted. If you need to work on the project at work and you're getting tired and you don't want to drink coffee, you just either diffuse the peppermint, or you can drop 1 drop of peppermint essential oil in your mouth. And that also releases tension in the muscles. So those would be very easy tips. What else I like to recommend, and that's a huge, breath. People don't know how to breathe. So if you want to, I can guide you with the breath so you can experience that by yourself.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Let's do it.
Comfortably on your chair. Your spine is straight. And we are going to be breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you are breathing in through the nose, your belly is expanding like a big balloon. And when you are breathing out through the mouth, your belly is deflating. Okay, so let's take a couple of calming breaths. If you want, you can close your eyes. Breathe in. Your belly is expanding, and breathe out. Your belly is deflating. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in and out. One more time. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And you can stay there in that position. And what I usually do, I guide clients through the body, and we are scanning the body, and I'm guiding them through the session, and they scan, and wherever they feel the tension, because it can be different every day, then we work on that with different techniques.
Very cool. Wow, I was not expecting a little relaxation in this interview. That's amazing. Those tools that you showed are really cool. I've seen some of them before, but some of them, like that ring, I've never seen.
The
Uh,
best. Yeah.
yeah, that's really interesting. Do you sell these
I
products?
do sell it. It's on my website, and we are rebuilding the website, so everything is going to be more visible. So the tools, all of the tools are going to be there. Essential oils are there, and there are going to be special oils for burnout, because that is what lots of people are experiencing lately, the burnout from work, or it can be on mental, physical, and many different levels. And then other services I provide, everything will be there.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's really interesting because since you do work with entrepreneurs, but also people in corporate, there's a lot of, similarities between like our physical bodies, like the way we sit. And I personally work from home. And so I try to get up and walk around as much as possible. I have a dog who I walk
Good.
multiple times a day. But
Approved.
yeah, I'm thinking like the reason I got my dog was so I was more active. But I think when people work from home, they do get kind of stuck in this routine where
Yeah.
your desk is right here, your bed is probably like 10 steps away. Do you have any advice for just healing your body when you get into that sort of like rut?
Yeah. In that case, and especially if you aren't aware of your body yet, you need to create a schedule. Every 30 minutes when you are working and sitting or whatever position you are working at, you need to stretch and just walk around. Couple of minutes, 1 to 2 minutes is enough. If you have more time, great. But if you have your phone, set up the timer on the phone, and every 30 minutes just readjust and then dive back to your work. There was a research and they recommended every 30 minutes. It's good for your body, but also for your brain, because if you are paying attention for 25 to 30 minutes to something, then you are kind of losing it after. When you readjust your body, stretch, your focus is much sharper again after that short break. So that would be tip number one. Tip two, I would use lots of water. If you are not drinking enough, your body is not hydrating. So pay attention to that. And then the breath. When we get stressed or we are tied to deadlines, we tend to kind of close up and we use shallow breathing, which is not getting enough oxygen into our brain. So if you are aware of the breath, like we were experiencing a little bit ago, then when you catch yourself that you are not sitting properly and you're not breathing properly, just readjust. And that's the key, the awareness.
That's really great advice. Thank you so much for sharing those because
Yeah.
it's so actionable. One of my biggest pet peeves is people saying, like, oh, just go on a 30-minute walk multiple times a day. But
That
that's
is
great.
great.
Where it's
But
like 1 to 2 minutes. Sometimes that's all you can do, right?
yes, exactly. If you have time, yes, go for a walk. But if you are working at the office or home office, sometimes you have deadlines and you cannot go for a couple of 30 minutes walk. So this is substitute for that. Then after work, do your practice exercise, gym, yoga, whatever it is. But I like to also, with this ring or any of these tools, I use this if I'm on the Zoom call and if I don't have to perform, if I'm just listening, I'm rolling this on my finger, right? What is the usual excuse? I have heard so many excuses, but the usual ones, oh, I don't have time. And I tell them, I don't have time either, but I'm still doing it, right? Or I make time when the time is right. So when you can use this is like on the Zoom call, if you're just listening actively, right? You can roll this. You can take this ball, you can roll it on your hands or put it under your feet and massage your feet, right? Same thing if I'm sitting in the car on the red light, I'm rolling or I'm using the ring. Just simple things. Incorporate 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. The key is for all of the employees or clients that this is simple and easy to use and I don't need anything. So if I'm traveling, I don't have my gym, with me. I either have these little tools, and even if I don't have it, I have my hands. And you still can massage your neck, head, or use the correct breath.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want to get into connecting with your inner divine and things like that. But I know people, what you just said, they're thinking like, oh, how do I learn how to do this? Or how do I actually make this happen? Are
Yeah.
these things that you help your clients with?
Yeah, for mainly this is questions from women, but it applies for men too. For me, I always tell them, find the time for yourself, whatever it is, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, hour, every day, find time for yourself, because during that time when you are alone, you can connect to yourself and to your body. You can kind of scan your body. You can think through what's going on. What do I need? Right? Because if you are in the busy roller coaster of family or work, there is no time for yourself. And who else is going to make time for yourself than you? So connecting with the inner divine is just having the time for yourself and keep the promise for yourself that you are going to take the time.
At a high level, what is the inner divine?
Well, it can be anything for anybody, right? For me, it's connecting with myself. I work with people, so I work with them on education level. I work with them body work physically, so sometimes I can get lots of different vibes and energies, and I have to do my self-care. So my self-care to me is connecting to my inner divine. So I have different routines. I have routines with essential oils. I have routines with yoga and meditation. I go outdoors. I have animals, so I'm connecting with the nature. Sometimes I have to dig in with my own hands to connect with the dirt. And that is, to me, connecting to my inner divine, because I know I need it. I'm listening to my own guts. And when I can listen to my own guts, just when I'm alone.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. For anyone who's maybe thinking like, oh, I don't even know where to start with this. Like I want to connect with my inner divine, but doesn't know like the first step. What is
Just
the first step?
first step, find the time, make that time for yourself. And I would suggest go somewhere where you like it, because usually we have our favorite spots, right? It's somewhere in the nature or somewhere at your garden or wherever it is, go there and just sit there with yourself and just contemplate.
I like that. Easy and it's
Simple
really a feeling, right? Like how do
feeling.
you feel?
Yeah. What I have experienced with others and with myself too is slowing down. It sounds very easy, but we don't use that much. So slowing down at least once during the day and really connecting with yourself and asking, what is it I need today? What is that? Because every day is different, right? It depends how you sleep. It depends what's going on at home, at work. So we just need to be grateful for that we are here, but we also need to take care of ourselves with our self-care.
Very cool. That's really awesome. Do you have an office? Where are you located, by the way? In California,
I'm
right?
in California, I'm in Orange County. So I either work with clients like in mobile sessions or I do virtual sessions. So it can work both way, locally and also internationally, or for clients with different states. And then I'm having events. So any events, upcoming event is gonna be posted on social media. We have retreats with my friend who is teaching yoga. I do the wellness. And we are going to have lots of upcoming events with essential oils. And another event is coming up in September in Newport Beach. Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. So this has been really informative, and I've loved everything that you've shared so far, from slowing down to just taking care of yourself more, to even you telling your story about how you got to where you are. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that you really want to dive more into?
Yes, I want to show you something. I have this calendar I really like. It's like a motivational self-care calendar. And there is this quote, and it says, self-improvement is a lifetime's work. There is no rush. And that's the answer what you were asking me, where to start.
Mm.
Start today, because if we are going to be postponing, we are going to be postponing forever. So whatever it is, whatever you need or whatever you feel like, Just start the day with one thing, one new thing, add it to your new routine.
I really love that. I was just back home for a week and was hanging out with my grandma, and that just made me think of, she's 86 years old, and I'm sure she's still learning new things. And it's like you said, we never stop improving.
You never stop, we always learn something new. And then another thing I like to use are these simple self-care cards. So this would be a great idea for someone who doesn't know how to start. Buy some cards, whichever it is, you go online and find something topic interesting for you and pull one card every day. So I have pulled card for us today, and it says this. It says change. And there is a message for you on the other side. And the message reads, a resistance to change is a resistance to life itself. Open your heart and mind to new beginnings.
Oh,
I thought it's very nice, but this is very helpful and motivational for someone who is just starting with self-care. There can be anything and they can go anywhere, but the decision, like, what is it? So just pull simple card and you will see.
very cool. I love those. What is that deck called, just for anyone who's listening to
But
this?
this one is self-care wisdom cards. So
Cool.
and then essential oils are really a huge part of my life, and that helped my immunity. It just changed it when you start using something natural and you're avoiding toxic products. It makes a huge difference in your health and wellness. And with the oils, you can approach literally like new lifestyle. You can use essential on yourself, your family, your kids, your pets. You can use it in the diffuser. I'm just diffusing back there tangerine and eucalyptus. Tangerine is good and for energy and uplifting, and eucalyptus is good for respiratory system. So anytime I'm working in the office, I put something, positive in my diffuser because I want to have that energy around.
Very cool. I love that. You shared a lot of great tips today. And to start wrapping up every episode, the question I ask every guest is to share 3 action steps that you would like the audience to take to move forward in their business or their self-care journey.
Okay.
Whatever 3 action steps you would like them to take, this is the time to challenge them.
So the very simple step is make time for yourself, book the session with me or whoever you need to be booked with. Number 1, if you want to book with me, it's going to be on the website or via phone. Number 2, get your favorite oils. Really use the oils every day in diffuser or apply it on yourself. You will see the difference when you start using those natural oils. In 3 months, you will see difference. Number 3, just take it easy. Be kind to yourself because every change comes slowly. Nothing happens overnight. Be patient with yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. And that last one really makes me think where, you have this wellness business but growing a business has a lot of ups and downs.
Yes.
Do you have any last pieces of advice on kind of like giving yourself grace and taking it easy while in the growth period of your business?
Yes, if you are down, because that's every business is like that, up and down, up and down, surround yourself with like-minded people who are into the self-awareness and who are building the business too, because those people can hold you up. They do have the same experience because they have their own business, but they also work on their education and getting better. So these people are the best support for you at that low time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. I've absolutely loved this conversation. Where can people connect with you?
Either on social media, on Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn, or website, balmwellness.com, and Instagram is Jana_Hungate, and Facebook, it's the same thing, Jana Hungate or BALM Wellness. Pretty much when you Google it, it will pop out.
Yeah.
And I would like to encourage all the listeners and new clients to connect with me if they have any questions, because I know sometimes it can be intimidating because there are so many things we can do, but just the simple navigation what to do and how to start, because each of us is different, I can help them with that. So I'm here for you and I will support you.
Thank you so much. I'll put all of those in the show notes. And I know you also sent me over a burnout support
Yeah.
sheet.
Yeah.
So that'll also be in there if you wanted to talk about what that is.
Yeah. So I have created a list of favorite items which are preventing burnout. And that is from my experience, because I have used them for myself, but I also see that with my clients, what are their needs. So the items, essential oils or supplements or diffusers or rollers for the muscles, are there specifically for those in need. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, stressed, you don't sleep well, check those items, pick a couple. If you like all, pick them all, but just start with a couple simple things.
Awesome. Well, Jana, thank you so much again for joining. This has been great.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Employee to Boss podcast. If you made it to the end of this episode, I hope that you implement the actionable steps from this week's experts so you can get started with your business today. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the Employee to Boss podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. It helps more than you could ever imagine. Remember, a little progress each day leads to big results. We come out with a new episode every Tuesday. To access our show notes, transcripts, and courses, please check out